A dispute over freedom of speech is raging in Sweden after an anti-immigration advert was rejected by broadcasters there. Center-right politicians say legitimate debate is being stifled and now fear right-wing parties will be unfairly treated in the run-up to upcoming elections. That's prompted calls from politicians in Denmark for election observers to be sent to its Scandinavian neighbor. One of those politicians is Mikael Astrup Ensen, a Danish member of parliament who joins us live from Copenhagen. Hello, Mr. Astrup Ensen. You believe this is a violation of the right to free speech. Do you think those rights should extend to cases where the speaker's words might incite violence against a group of people?
You know, I'm a firm believer in a true democracy, and in a true democracy you have an open and free debate, especially in a time where you have election campaign. And I really believe that's not the case in Sweden right now. Even in sensitive issues, like for example immigration policy, it is a lot better to debate it in the open than try to hide it under the carpet and try to imagine that it's not there. So I really am a firm believer in an open debate.
So you don't think there should be any restriction on free speech?
Well, of course, this is a very fine balance, because on one hand you should have an open and as free as debate as possible, but on the other hand, of course, you should have some kind of legal system. But you should take into account that I've seen the ad. Every Dane has seen this ad because it's run on every television station in Denmark. And it is quite special, in my view, that it can be run on Danish television if it should be should be illegal to run on Swedish television. It is quite funny, if you can say it like that, that there should be some kind of, big difference in the legal aspect.
So you're talking about a legal line. So you're saying someone has the right to draw that line. Who has the right to draw that line?
I will believe it should be the courts who decided that. But if you speak to every legal experts on this matter, both in Denmark but also in Sweden, they all come out and say that this ad is not it should be legal. It should run on Swedish television. So what the television station in Sweden has done is actually say, we don't agree with the political issue, and that's why we have decided not to run it. And that is, very unhappy from a political standpoint. If you are a strong believer in democracy, that is a television station is saying no to a party because they don't believe in that party's politics.
Now, what kind of debate are you expecting that it's even possible if this is a racial issue?
Well, I don't see it as a racial issue. I see it as an immigration policy debate. We have had that debate in Denmark for many years, and I am completely for an open debate on this issue, even though it is a sensitive issue. And I'm not a firm believer in this party's ad in Sweden, I have to say this. But I really believe that it should be discussed in the open and try not to, put it under the carpet, as I said, because nothing good's come out in trying to hide the debate, nothing at all.
Oh, so what's your opinion then if we recall on the Dutch cartoons that created ruckus in the Muslim community?
Well, I really believe that we should take this up in the open debate, because I am actually for immigration in many issues, because immigration is good for a country. It also because you have getting high-skilled labor and so on. But what you have created in Sweden right now is that one party is being left out of the complete media debates, but also kept out of the chance to run its ad. And that's not democracy in 2010. And that's why I'm saying that I have, been election observer in many Eastern European countries, and if what happened in Sweden right now happened in one of the Eastern European countries I have that election observing mission in, we would have complained about it loudly and said that this of course should be taken care of, so it was a true democracy. So what we demand of Eastern Europe, we should also demand from Sweden.
Okay, now but what right does Sweden have what right does Denmark have, to involve itself in Sweden's domestic issues? Now, how would the Danes react, for example, for Sweden getting involved in a case like the international scandal in 2002 on the death of Jens Arne Orskov Mathiasen? How would you react?
Well, I'm a firm believer that every politician from every country should take active part of the debate. Also regarding Danish internal policy, I welcome that debate. And why we have been involved in the Swedish case is because we are both founding members of the Council of Europe. Council of Europe is an organization that 47 European countries are part of, which promotes two very important issues: democracy and freedom of speech. And if we, keep fighting for these issues as we do, both from Sweden and Denmark, we should also fight it internally in Sweden as well.
Now, obviously, Sweden has the right to refuse Denmark's request to send election observers. What will be your next step should that happen?
I will take it up in the next meeting in the Council of Europe and try to get broad support from different member countries to try to really put an issue on the table so that also the Swedes can understand that what we demand from Eastern Europe regarding democracy and freedom of speech, we should also demand from Sweden as well.
All right, thank you very much. That's Mikael Astrup Ensen, a Danish member of parliament.